Welcome to the RIP, Brent.
Christina, here we go.
I'm very excited that we are doing this. I think we're going to have a lot of fun wading through learning how to do a podcast. But luckily, I guess we're doing it on a topic that we absolutely love talking about.
We struggle to keep it in the time frame.
Yeah, good thing with podcasts, I think you can take it as long as you want. And I'm sure our family members who are going to be our most loyal fans will listen to it. And then hopefully...
As I shout my mom out now.
Yeah. Thanks, Brent's mom. So I think let's just quickly set up the scene. The RIP, it's a life-saving podcast. First of its kind in South Africa. We can claim that. Based on the Googling I've done, I haven't seen any others. We want to focus a lot on life-saving sports, why we love it, and all the epic humans that make up the community of life-saving sport. I know from my side, I think it's also really cool, how many lessons people can take from it into the real world. Leadership, being an awesome human, knowing how to work in a team.
As we know, it's one of the most unique sports there is. What did I do with my foot?
Oh, that's fine. I think that'll be in shot, but it's fine. No one can hear where your knee is on Spotify, at least. So that's good. And I think to start off the first episode, we want to dive into kind of what's currently been happening, because we've got some exciting events that we're in the middle of, and we can then tell people a bit more about ourselves in a few future episodes.
The boring interviews.
Yeah, they're like, who are you and what makes you tick? I think with that, let's also make a disclaimer. We joked about this, but all of these views
are our own. Not linked to any organization or governing body or sponsorship currently.
Currently, we are welcoming sponsors. Yeah. And I think the best way that I can see this is we often are having these types of conversations when we're standing on the side of the pool or the side of the beach, watching some of the comps unfold. There's a lot of banter that goes on. And I think it's going to be cool to see over the course of how this podcast evolves when we get other people to come in, and just all the kind of chitter chatter around life-saving. There's a lot of cool lingo.
A lot of unique personalities that will make for quite a podcast.
Yeah. No, so I think that's going to be rad. But for today, what we want to unpack is the Rescue Sport series that's been sweeping through the Western Cape.
Taking Instagram by storm.
Yeah, Instagram's almost crashed a few times. Also, the 2025 Surf Interprovincial Champs. Those are taking place in Mossel Bay. And we are hoping that by the time this episode goes live, everyone's already driving up there.
You can all be driving and having a good chuckle at our first episode.
Yeah, and listening to us absolutely rave about how exciting the event's going to be. So, let's jump into the Rescue Sport Series. So, Rescue Sport Series has been a new addition to the Western Cape lifesaving scene. And it kind of took the existing model of how the local comps were running in the Western Cape.
Spiced it up.
Yeah, infused a little bit of energy, a little bit of innovation, quite a bit of media, and took what was already great and I think just kind of shone a light on it.
Yeah, I think it took it to the people. It's a lot of new profile pictures, a lot of new funky videos of people on Instagram. But jokes aside, I think it's been fantastic. I think it's been fantastic for the sport, for the exposure, a couple of new events which we'll get into a bit later today. I think I think it's thrown a lot of spice. The money, of course, I think people have started to cash some money before the first event, started to spend it before they got it, but it's all peaking to an exciting, and I think it's quite a bit tighter than a lot of people would have thought.
Yeah, I think it's been really cool to see also some stalwarts of life saving also coming back in. rejoining, because that's what we want. We want to be able to retain a lot of our like life-saving friends. And I mean, with the goal of the series being to attract 200 new lifeguards over the next 3 years in the Western Cape, I think we are definitely on track for that, because I think the greatest recruitment for lifesaving is if you're feeling so stoked while you're doing something, you're totally going to tell your buddy, like, hey, listen, you're missing out.
Exactly. Everyone wants to be part of that energy and that addiction, like any sport. And again, disclaimer, we're not linked to anybody, but what a fantastic initiative. Why?
Yeah.
Was it LWC?
Yeah, so I think there's a sponsor, Solid Oak, and they are really invested in helping grow lifesaving, and they've been working with a team of a combination of people from Lifesaving Western Cape and Lifesaving Cape Town, a lot of our volunteers who were already set up in these event spaces, and kind of just worked with them to figure out like how can we make this bigger and better. And it's been cool because everyone has lots of ideas, but they've just not had the kind of support to roll them out.
Yeah.
And what's quite cool is, I mean, a lot of us who were in Australia last year for World Champs, we spent some time chatting with the guys who work on World Ocean Series and the old Nutri-Grain, and got a lot of ideas and suggestions from them on how to go about this. I mean, if you look at Australia,
leading the pack.
Yeah. I was checking out today, they've got, so the Hayden Kenny, there's a comp this coming weekend. It's the one famous Ironman.
I've seen the oars
Shannon,
there.
Yeah.
Going to oar.
Shannon Eckstein Classic. There are 222 people signed up for the ski race and 180 people for the Ironman.
To voluntarily do Ironman.
Yeah.
180 people voluntarily doing Ironman.
So the numbers for that are insane. I mean, they are... like many years down the line ahead of us in terms of putting on good sports events. But what's cool is we get to learn from them.
Yeah, and we're making a start.
Yeah, and apply some practices. So if we just can go over, we'll do a much bigger episode on Rescue Sports Series. But what's been standing out for you over the season? What have some of the key races been that you've witnessed? Any underdogs that have been coming through?
I think there's been a lot of tighter races than even I thought. We'll get into all the positives now. The only gripe I have is that they left my middle name they exposed me and put my middle name in on the sheet and did the old man dirty. But I think it's been...
That's on live heats. That's probably your club, I don't know, manager who has entered you into live heats that way.
Somebody had a good laugh.
But maybe that's something that can open the door for
other people with embarrassing
nicknames.
Names. Here we go.
Cool nicknames.
Here we go.
To start entering on their live heats, like their stage name.
Now we're thinking.
Yeah.
Now we're thinking.
So Brent Jerome Shield has been on
made an appearance.
Sprint rankings. Yeah.
But yeah, I think just the fact that the rankings are out there and it's in people's faces, I think it's been an amazing initiative. Again, there's no, like, the money does spice things up. So I think it brings a lot of positives to it. But for me personally, just to see a lot of people, as you said, Christine, a lot of people coming back into the sport. A lot of my close friends, a lot of people I used to race with come back. Like, what could be cooler?
Yeah.
So I think it's been fantastic. I think there's been a lot of excitement from the youngsters. And I mean, there's the athlete committee who bought into the Rescue Sports Series. It's been fantastic. As far as exciting races, I think there has been some dark horses, some dominating performances. Some people made a comeback. Zach Waters was at 2 amazing surf swims. I think just that footage of him running out the water. If I was Zach, was it Fishhook? I think I would ride that would be on my Instagram profile for the next couple of months.
Pin to the top.
And I think if there's any proof that this Rescue Sports Series, the tongue twister, was supposed to work, just look at the weather we had. No wind at Fishhook. What are the flipping chances? Yeah. No wind at Milnerton. Basically impossible. Clifton, obviously, it's always going to be beautiful. But Clifton, 3 competitions, 3 ideal conditions. I don't know if we've ever started a year that way. And we actually finished 2 competitions early or on time. Yeah. I think that was the first time in all all my years, I think I've seen that happen, which again, even the officials are buying into it, which is amazing to see.
So there's a cool thing. I mean, with the whole release, when the Rescue Sports Series was announced to all clubs, there was quite a hefty document that went out to explain the changes and how it would work. And there's an awards section. And I don't know how many people are very familiar with it, but there's things in there that when we have the sports awards at the end of the season, they'll come through. So you've got awards like the top club who's accrued the most points across pool and surf. Then there's an award for the club that's shown the most growth over and that'll be using some kind of formula to figure out, like, based on your club size, how many people you got in. So that's quite a cool incentive. I think that club will win 25,000 Rand if they've actually grown.
Get recruiting everybody.
Yeah. But there's also an award. There's an award for that is voted for by the officials for a open athlete and a youth athlete who portrays the best spirit of competition. So that's quite a cool thing where, like, you do not need to be someone who's hitting the podium, but if you're just like such a lekker person, you'd be walking away with like 5,000 Rand. There's also an award for the best official. And
you look good in blue, Christina.
So this is being voted for by the Western Cape Athletes Committee.
Oh, awesome.
Not going to lie, the first competition I was at, I did have some of the officials trying to like butter me up and try to figure out what the officials leaderboard is looking like.
Fine, you got yourself one of those official sandwiches.
Yeah. No, so I think that's also been quite cool. Like, there's a little in-house competition between the officials around who can be the most effective and efficient and the most like fun. And I mean, at the end of the day, they also volunteers who froth about the sport. So it's cool for them to have their own little internal leaderboard.
Yeah. So even some spice for the officials.
Yeah. And I think, what's been exciting to also see is the introduction of some mixed events. I know there's been great feedback around how if you're putting mixed beach relay in as an event that will appear every season, it's going to inspire clubs who maybe don't have the same amount of members across both genders to get some people in. So I mean, if you're a female predominant club, you now are going to be like, hey, where are the fast guys? Where are they running? And let's go get them into our team. Rumors are that mixed double C is going to make a return next season. I know, Fisher are frothing for that. And some of the other clubs are now going to need to go and get a few more
making and breaking marriages since who knows when.
Yeah. But I think that's what's been really cool in that even for all the people that have been involved for a while, there's a little bit of innovation happening, and that's keeping it more interesting for them. Coming up next is we've got the Western Cape Surf Champs. Double points will be on offer.
It's the last chance in the surf.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's some of the leaderboards are actually pretty tight. There's a couple where you've got Georgia Singer is like insane across so many of them. Cody Stallard also in the under 19.
She's going to be buying lunch after.
Yeah, Georgia, like all the burry rolls are on her. But there's a couple where it's going to be pretty tight.
It's going to be tight, especially as double points.
Yeah, and also, as we know, Western Cape Champs has a history of being an event where a lot of people come out of the woodworks. I know last year Fisher brought out a lot of athletes from their trophy cabinet.
Yep.
They had Nikki Mocker, Candice Murray, Kirsten Flanagan.
Just a couple of world champs in the cupboard.
They just dust them off and bring them through. So that's also going to shake up the leaderboards because you're now not going to just have the same people racing for that finish.
And it's going to be that double effect.
Yeah. And then there's also the final pool event, which will be indoors at UWC. Western Cape Champs Pool was held in Jan, so that's when the double points applied. But again, this next final comp will be a nice one, and it's just before SA Champs, so
it will be peak condition.
Yeah, we'll probably see some fast times, which will be cool. Yeah. So Rescue Sports Series so far has been a big hit, and we can't wait to comment on how it wraps up. And hopefully also get some of the stars of the series in for a few episodes.
All those takeovers.
Yeah,
those takeover athletes were looking at you.
Yeah, like when can we come on? I think it's been a good time, and here's to many more seasons of it.
We'll get into those individual results and how things pan out and some of the best races in a future episode.
Yeah, rad. Interprovincials 2025. This is the year where it's split. So there's a surf competition and there's a pool competition. We just want to talk about the surf competition now because that's coming up really soon. And we will do a future episode on the pool. As we are both Lifesaving Western Cape diehard fans, we're going to have a big Lifesaving Western Cape angle. But I think, Brent, just how does IPTs work? What is IPTs? It's an acronym that lives in lifesaving. Just set the stage for some of our diehard fans.
So as I'm sure everybody knows, IPTs, it's Interprovincials. What we're getting, hopefully getting, and normally getting is the best of the best racing each other. So from a racing perspective, it's shorter, it's sharper. There's no easy rounds. You look at the sprinters where they would be doing 4 or 5 runs, they're doing 1 or 2. Surf skiers, there's no heats. It's make or break. So very exciting to watch. It's the best of the best, smaller fields. Obviously, the makeup of the team is quite tactical. How people make their teams up, especially as you say, it's a surf only year. So what's that? Six males, 6 females, 2025, and we can still say that. Battling it out. Quite exciting. Obviously, the big news this year is no KZN.
Oof.
I think
such a blow.
That's quite a blow. And historically, they probably have been one more than even us.
Yeah. So I got hold of Janelle, shout out Janelle at LSA.
Digging out the dusty records.
I was like, Janelle, I would like to know the history of IPT results. As it was on short notice, she could only go as far back as 2008, and we don't have complete results. But what you can definitely see is that there was like a big KZN dominance. And I think, ask anyone who's been in lifesaving in South Africa for a long time. KZN has been a really dominant force. But what was quite cool to see that is in more recent years, Western Cape was really coming through. There were also many years where our Western Cape nippers were winning. And I think that's what's fed into what you see today. The current generation in our open division, a lot of them were those nippers who were in the winning teams back then. But in the last couple of years, so 2023 was the last time the surf was just held, and Western Cape won the overall. And we won the juniors. We came second in the open to KZN. 2021, KZN won that one. That was in that blur of life that was COVID. And I remember, the team went up to Durbs.
I remember that. I think we sent one senior woman.
Yeah, it was.
Shout out Caitlin.
And we couldn't even get a whole senior women's team together. Fast forward to today, it is difficult to get into the senior women's team. So epic to see that growth. 2019, Western Cape got the win in the surf, and then 2017, 2015, all KZN, and going back to 2008, Western Province had a win.
I think I was there.
Yeah, that was cool. But I think, Brent, what is your history, your personal history with IPT?
So I've done a few interprovincials as an athlete, and now a few as a selector in a coaching role. But when I was competing as an athlete, giving away my age here, and probably Andrew Cook's age, because he was coaching us then, I went from a thorn in his side as an athlete to a bigger thorn in his side as I got taller and bigger. So I had some fantastic memories with interprovincials. It was different back then. So I think back then we were Western Province. The Eden District was then the Eden District. KZN was fantastically strong. I think they probably had way more numbers than us, but it's a lot of good stories. I'll tell you one really, probably embarrassing one or two now. And it often worked that we would compete the day before nationals. So we would compete the day before nationals, which it was hard as an athlete because you extended it by one day.
Yeah.
But it was quite nice because it was a big crowd presence. A lot of people came to watch, which I'm sure they're doing now, but they had nothing else to do, so they would come watch. And we competed over half a day before. My memory could be fuzzy, but I don't remember there being as big of a inland presence back then competing in the surf. And a good story. I won't mention my co-mate Raul de Mornay's. I won't mention my mate Raul de Mornay's name, but they used to contribute some lunch money. And Raul and I, we were staying at the Suncoast Casino, which is probably the first mistake. And we successfully gambled all our money, all our lunch money, into a nest egg, playing blackjack.
Yes,
much to Andrew's opposite of excitement and pleasure. And we're walking out the casino thinking we're so smart. And then Raul has the fantastic idea. So let's bet it all on black or red. And I'll never forget the moment it landed on double green 0 because neither of us knew that existed. But I do have fantastic memories. I remember my very first Interprovincials I'll never forget because I came in hot. I was so proud to be in the team. My club, I was like the only person, one or two people competing back then. And Farouk May he just took to me in Lifesaving. I'll owe him forever. He took to me, he knew that I was from just like, there was 2 or 3 of us and really like it almost makes me cry thinking about him. He was so encouraging. He actually helped me with my flags and my sprints and he actually picked, he said, he was a selector. He backed me. So I was my first Interprovincials on Nahoon Beach, East London.
Nice.
It was a fantastic setup. And I will never forget, I fell face first in the very first sprint. And that was my rough introduction to Interprovincials, but it got better.
Welcome, Brent.
Got better from there.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean,
you've got some more recent experience.
So I got into my first Interprovincial team about 3 years ago. I mean, when I go into more of my story, I took a break from Lifesaving and then thought I'll make a return as a master and like see how that goes. And then, managed to still jump in with the Opens. And it was really cool to get a call up to the Western Cape team. But I'll never forget, and your wife's actually involved in the story.
Sorry, everyone.
Yeah. So that first year I made, it was the combo year. So it was a surf and stillwater combination. And not a single person in the open women's team had done stillwater before. And so poor Jade, who, she was our coach and manager, she was just like wigging it with us. And things like, okay, well, if you played water polo, then you should do the 50 carry, or like, you can tow. We did have some cool moments though. I mean, one of the members of our team, Casey Button, she, in her spare time, is often free diving. So it was like, oh, cool, put her in fins. And she absolutely smashed her underwaters. Yeah, we also had Waris Mills, who she's still in the team these days. She had a great swimming background, but had like never seen stillwater before. And I think she won the obstacle race, and it was just so awesome to see.
Probably giggled the whole 200 meters.
Yeah, she was just like, oh, this is so fun. It's like diving under waves. And so we absolutely hacked it on day one of the pool. Didn't do terribly, but then when we got to the surf the next day, that's where we all kind of came alive. And I think Interprovincials has been so cool. It's when all the club colors go away. We don our blues. There's a lot of cool information sharing and knowledge that like happens between the athletes. And I think it's also cool that you then also get to meet everyone else's parents and your bond to the broader community really grows.
Just grows.
And then next time when you're at like a local comp, you like see that person's mom and then they can't help but cheer for you, even though you're now in your club colors. So I think that's what's always been so special about it. But yeah, that, as you were saying, the racing is tight because, I mean, sometimes, there's like 6 of you on a line.
You get one go at it.
Yeah. And there's also the element of the internal rivalry because they'll often race the youth and the open in the same race.
You don't want to get smoked by a junior.
If a junior beats you, it's not
and
a
it
fun
happens
time.
a lot.
It does happen a lot, yeah.
And it is also often a feeder for national teams, Christina. It's one of the big trials. So there's a lot riding on those races. If you're listening to this on the way car, don't get nervous.
You got this.
You got this. We're with you.
Yeah, we're with you. And I think one other thing that stands out for me was, that the surf IPT when we were up in Durban in 2023. It was towards the end of the day, and all the beach relays were the last event. And I think the opens we went first, and open men won, open ladies won. We were like, oh, sick, this is good. Then we were like, then the youth teams went. So the youth boys, they won their relay, youth girls. And I was standing on the side with Jordan Minter and Yuseni Furtado, and we suddenly just had this realization, like, oh, we can do the clean sweep. And the nippers were the last ones to go. And we watched them do their relay, and nipper boys won, or nipper girls come on, and the nipper girls won. You would have sworn like we'd just won the Rugby World Cup in a life-saving context. Oaks were going crazy. And I think a lot of the people had no idea why we were suddenly screaming so loudly. I was filming some of it, and I think it made it onto one of the Instagram reels. And it was just such a cool moment where like this bigger thing suddenly became so important to us. And we were just like, come on, the Blues, like we can get the clean sweep. So, I think we are definitely hoping that this coming, we can do a repeat, because nothing better than just being able to like see a bit of dominance in a specific event. And relays are also
especially the beach events.
Relays are just also like the absolute best.
The team events are the best.
Yeah,
the best.
Yeah. So I think let's bring us into 2025. We know KZN aren't going to be there. So on the line, I think it's not that there's not going to be a lot of competition, but we are going to have a bit of a hole. So Eastern Cape, Western Cape will be duking it out. I do know there's a Seoul Gauteng competitor coming down.
Oh, amazing.
Kendra de Toy is going to be jumping into like the surf swim events
Go
and Johnson Run. So I think that's really awesome that even though no one else from her province is coming, she still wants to come and represent. But
again, we had that moment as a province, and here we are.
Yeah, so I mean, Kendra's the Caitlin of 2025.
The chosen one.
Yeah. Next up, we are going to be going through the team sheets for the Open and Youth Lifesaving Western Cape teams. And Brent, I think just set the scene here. You are a selector. One of a couple, and I think you've been involved in that for quite a while. But just take us through like how was the experience of pulling these teams together?
So this year, Christina, I must admit, I can't give away too much, but one of the toughest years we've had in a lot of positive ways. I think this year there are some incredible athletes who walk into almost any team. Maybe you even got a shout for the national team, but it just shows the nature of that. We're blessed in the Western Cape. We've got some amazing athletes. It was hours and hours of discussions. I often joked in these meetings, I wish we had recorded them so people could see what depth we went into. And I think we put up an incredible team. There's going to be some ecstatic people. There's going to be some sad people. But this was a year, and I think it's going to get harder and harder. Again, in a positive way, to keep picking this team.
I mean, as we were saying earlier, a few years ago, you had one senior woman going on IPT.
And now it's like you said, it's hard to make that. It's a real honor to make team, and you have to be a special athlete to crack the nut in these teams.
Yeah. So I think before we jump into the teams, just tell us about Santos Beach. What's it like? I've never been there myself, but I know Milnerton goes up there fairly often.
Those who venture to Cape Champs, just 90% of people go for the party, but it's soft sand, gritty sand.
On a scale of 1 to Clifton, how soft is the sand?
I wouldn't say as severe as Clifton, but as it gets churned up, it can start to feel very, very thick and like you're running in some sticky honey. It's going to be flat. Probably this will be the only, now that I've said this, it'll be the first time that they have surfing. It's huge surf, here's hoping, but it's going to be flat water racing, which again, we've had a lot here. So I know the Eastern Cape athletes often have bumpier shores. So it's going to be fast, it's going to be flat, and you're going to have to be fit. And the sand is going to be hot in more ways than one. It's going to be soft, and it's going to be some tight finishes, I think.
So you could actually say that the recent Clifton comp we had was probably good prep for a lot of the athletes. Because it was super hard, super soft,
super flat.
The bunching around the cans was next level because you don't have any waves obviously breaking up the pack.
Nothing to bring you home.
There was I remember in the open ladies board race at Clifton, there was a lot of I couldn't tell sometimes whether it was screaming or laughter, and it was a combination of the two, and quite a few swear words being thrown out, going around the first and second can. The pack could just not break up.
Separate.
It was next level, and then the long paddle back, separated the fit from the
start hard, finish harder.
Yeah. So I think let's jump into it. We're going to start with the open women. And first up, we've got Caitlin Brokart, or how I want to now start calling her, Caitlin Blitz Brokart.
Blitz Brokart.
She's definitely got the fastest board start in, I'm going to say, the whole of Africa. I've been next to her many a time on the line, and it's almost like I'm going on a whistle that's 5 minutes later. She gets such a good lead. I mean, her legs are super long. She's definitely related to you somehow. And she's epic on the board, but not just the board. I mean, she offers a lot more to a team.
It's a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah. And I think she's been in the Western Cape side. This is her 5th time being selected. Last year, she also was selected for the President's team for Africa Champs, World's team, so got her SA colours, and she's someone who's really giving a lot into Lifesaving and has set a lot of really cool goals within it, and it's awesome to see that from an athlete. Yeah. But from a selection point of view, or what do you enjoy about Caitlin? What does she offer the team?
I think besides the obvious performance, and like you say, it's so blitz. I think she beat me with the board. Start. She definitely beat me with us, most of us with the board, the whole thing. But she offers so much. She offers a lot of leadership. I think she, especially with the younger girls, she's a good role model for them to look at.
Yeah. No, and I mean, she can put a really good, decent iron together. Her swimming's really strong, and she is
fast across the beach.
Yeah, practically a beach athlete when it comes to having her in your beach relay team. I know she's also been working on her sprints quite a lot lately. Got a new sprint coach, and been pretty high up in the sprint rankings of the Rescue Sport Series. So Caitlin going to be an awesome team member that we'll see in action.
Pack your gels, Caitlin. You're going to need them.
Yeah. Next up is the rookie of the side, Ella Dorrington, earning her first ever Western Cape colours. Youngster of the group. Ella's only in grade 11, but really cool story in that she was someone who's always been knocking on the door. At Nippers, she was always thereabouts. But she was also given some good advice. I mean, she asked her coaches, how can I progress? How can I get into this team? And they said, look, you need to work on your flags. You need to work on your aggression a bit. You need to focus a bit more on beach. Sprinting itself, and she's put in the work and she's gotten the call up, and it's so exciting to see. We love seeing, I mean, you've got the contrast, the people that are in the team as regulars, but then the person who gets their first ever shot.
The dark horse.
Yeah.
I think it's an amazing story. Like I say, she's been knocking on the door, and what a season, what form she's in. We're talking about upsets in the Rescue Sports Series. Eve Abrams is untouchable, amazing athlete. She just pipped her, I think, in the sprints, gave a very good run in the senior women at the Clifton competition. So definitely deserves her place. And what an image of hard work and paying off.
Yeah. No, and I think, we've already started using her as an example to chat to some of our other juniors and our nippers who now narrowly like missed out on selection. We're like, okay, well, look, you can be like Ella and your time will come. So yeah, awesome character to have racing for us. And we then have someone who actually, she has a bit of an accent, Rosie Edwards, Great Britain national team member.
Import.
Yeah, the import. This is actually her second season being spent in Cape Town. She races for Fishhook, a really good ski paddler. She was at World Champs last year in Oz, and was done very dirty by the ski start. She was alongside one of our other SA team members, Saskia Hockley, and their side of the ski start line got smashed by a shore break as the whistle blew, and it was absolute heartbreak. But it's been cool to see how Rosie, has responded from an experience like that. She came back to Cape Town, got into some racing. She's also been playing around on the rivers with a lot of canoeing. So just someone who's like constantly exploring all the different types of experiences you can have. But what makes Rosie a great member of the team?
Again, I think a ton of experience, a ton of top level experience. Saying it again, another great example for youngsters to look at. And like canoeing is like the swimming or of surf ski paddling. It's a great fitness. If someone's hitting that flat water paddling, they're going to be a beast. And I can almost guarantee that she's not going to have a repeat of that start at Santos.
Yeah, Rosie, no worry about it.
Watch out for the videos of the huge waves.
Yeah. And also a weapon in board. She translates all of her paddling power to that really well. And I think also could be making up the beach relay side. I'm not too sure, but I've seen her run on a beach. She's pretty fast. Next up, we've got Lara Johnson. This is Lara's second time as an open athlete being selected for the Western Cape team. She was in the Western Cape team last year. Prior to that, she was selected as a nipper. And then she took a bit of time off Lifesaving, focused on athletics and track, and then decided to make a return. And it's been such an exciting story. I know her pretty well because we're both at Clifton together. Last year, she came to Interprovincials and she won the sprints. And I remember I was like filming and I just got like covered in goosebumps and I was screaming. The video was almost unusable because my voice like went so loud because suddenly she was like crossing the line in first. It's such a cool example of an athlete who really enjoyed lifesaving, has made a comeback, and what makes her an exciting athlete.
I think from my side, obviously, dabbling more in beats than anything else. She's smooth as butter with her running. Like you look at her and it's just, that's what you think. That's what we all wish we looked like when we were running. Yeah. Great technique, smooth as butter. And like you said, she's made this return from the nipper to the fantastic story. Hope we'll see a lot more of people like that. I know she's working hard on her flags. I know she sees that as a big weakness for herself. But she has the speed to make up anyway. And if you watch her start, I actually will say to her, good start, you win this race. Yeah. So hopefully that comes true. Yeah.
No, and I think it's going to be cool seeing her and Ella working together in the flags arena. I think the two of them know, they're going to put in some good work and combine and probably have some nice cut-offs. Yeah, it's going to be epic. Next up, we've got Erin Langenhoven. Epic person. She's been in the Western Cape team quite a few times. She hails from Big Bay. Really gritty swimmer. She was also recently in the South African pool team that took on Orange Cup. So one of those crossover athletes. But Erin's epic. I mean, I've been on two teams with her twice and just loves getting stuck in. Quite a quiet racer. But don't let that fool you. She's pretty hardcore and she wants to smash it. I mean, if you are from Big Bay and you're a swimmer, there's many times when you're out there and the wind's blasting in your eye. On Fridays for fun in Big Bay, they do a run some run. It's a long one. Next level. So I mean, she's grown up tough and such a good athlete to have on the side. Also one of the slightly younger ones, but got a lot of experience with quite a few Western Cape caps behind her.
Yeah, again, I think that's someone who's almost been unlucky not to make a junior team because she's good enough. And we'll get into that. But the junior athletes are so strong. I think this year they probably, I think almost 5 or 6 of them have been represented South Africa. So she's always stepped up to that challenge. She's raced with the women. She's never moaned about it. She's like a little diesel engine, a little pocket rocket. I don't think I've heard her moan. She gets, like you said, she gets stuck in, not afraid to mix it up with the big girls, so to speak. And I think she's gonna shock some people. And we know she's got that fantastic swimming background. Again, flat water. Watch out for her.
Yeah. And then finally, wrapping up the open women's team is Waris, Worry the Warrior. That's what, like, her nickname came out of the world champs when we were all together. Waris is epic. Her accent's also actually pretty interesting. It's a combination between like British and American. I know she also spent time in Hong Kong and has spent a lot of time in South Africa. Waris is, I think, like one of the ultimate teammates that you could ever have. She just is so enthusiastic about the experience that's going on and just gets so stoked for everyone around her. I mean, don't be fooled. As soon as the goggles come down or she sets herself over her
excitement machine,
the stoke channels straight into like next level ferocity. But it's like every moment just before a race or just after a race, Waris is there to like engage and chat and share the experience with fellow teammates. And also, I mean, she's never been someone who's like big into like, oh, well, if you're from another club, like, I'm not going to talk to you. Such an epic person. But I think as an athlete is able to offer so much because, well, firstly, she creates that type of presence for the team. But from a athletic ability, I mean, Waris is like a top swimmer and a top ski paddler, and just such a weapon across the water.
She exactly that. She is a weapon. You know, you put her into any role, she's gonna smash it. She's gonna smile. She's gonna enjoy it, or at least she'll look like she's gonna enjoy it. And she's an absolute weapon to have. She plugs a lot of holes. That's probably doing her injustice. She smashes a lot of roles. And again, someone I don't think I've often heard moan or be sad. I remember there was an interview with her before and after a long run, and she sounded just as enthusiastic after a 2-kilometer sprint as before. Like someone was hoping to get some funny viewing there, and Waris just didn't play into that.
Yeah, and I mean, when Waris isn't in like training or anything, she actually works as a river guide on the Orange River. And so, I mean, you can just imagine like how fun it would be to do an Orange River tour. Like, shout out to her business or whoever company she works with.
Whoever recruited her, good job.
Good job. But really strong paddler, really good swimmer. And I know, I mean, at World Champs, she was competing with us for Clifton in the interclubs. And I think on the one day, one of our beach athletes like had a bit of an injury, and Waris jumped into the beach relay, like, no worries, like, I'll just jump in. Like, I've already done an iron and a swim today. Like, let's go. And such a legend. Really looking forward to seeing this open women's team take on
the Eastern Cape girls.
I think it's going to be good. Okay, open men.
Open men.
Sure. So this is quite a cool pack. I think what's amazing to see across all of these names is a lot of these oaks have been consistently involved in lifesaving for quite a long time. We're going to start first up. We've got Matt Brading, the junior world surf ski champ from the 2024 World Champs.
What a title.
What a title. I was down on the beach filming for the national team, and again, I had to cut my own audio off the video. The screaming that was erupting, but from everyone. It was like these guttural screams coming from all the South African athletes on the beach when he crossed for the win. Matt wears his heart on his sleeve. He promptly burst into tears. Everyone just ran and screamed and gave him a big hug. And I mean, what a worthy winner. Definitely someone who has put in a lot of work over the years. Proud Fisher Oak. and really good like across a lot of events. So like, why is it rad to have Matt in the team?
Again, I mean, what a title, and what a title to go win in Australia. I think you can't say much more than that. That in itself almost picks him in any team. And just like some of the girls bringing that experience, that knowledge, what a treat.
Yeah.
They breathe them in Fisher. I don't know what they eat there. I don't know what they put in those wheat bricks, but
I think they put the wheat bricks in the sea and make the kids go paddle on a ski to the wheat bricks. Because, yeah, they've got a lot of strong oaks out there. Next up, Samuel Boyson. No stranger to being selected in the Western Cape setup. I think he got his first selection when he was in the Nippers. Also a world champion from when he was junior. He was the Flags junior world champion. But what was cool is last year he backed it up with a bronze medal in the open division in the sprints. And such an awesome oak. Definitely one of the more quieter athletes out there. I think he lets his performances do all the talking. But such an awesome teammate. Loves giving people a big hug after they've competed in an event. Loves a little quiet, like, well done, nice work. And is always so connected into what's going on. But as an athlete, he offers quite a lot on the beach.
I think Sam, firstly, I think his quads have tripled in size from last year to this year. I saw that, Sam. I saw that. But
He's your coach.
Yeah, he's your coach. Again, what a quiet guy, but what a performer. What a flipping performer. He's world champ. He's backed it up so many times. There's massive shoes to fill with our beachies in Western Cape and South Africa. And Sam's the man to fill that role. I think he carried a little of a niggle a couple of weeks ago. He seems to be over that. He seems just fine to me. Hopefully that carries through. And I wouldn't say I think he's the one with his target on his back. He's had a target on his back for the few years. I think anytime people think he's slowed down, they smell blood in the water, he just comes and shows them, here I am, come get me.
Yeah, no, epic. So super looking forward to seeing Sam take on Sand.
Again, I think that Sand was made for an athlete like that.
Yeah. It's going to play into his favor. Next up, we've got Tanner Garul. He's been in the Western Cape team, I know definitely once, if not twice before. He's always been around. Sometimes he's been like right up there, and other times I think he's like had a lot going on in a season. But wow, someone who's really changed so much from last season to this season. And I think what's been cool is Tanner had the experience of going to World Champs last year, so he trained really hard through winter. And I remember him actually saying, it's so cool, I can't wait to see what all of this extra training during winter is going to do for my performances in like the coming season. And I mean, we've seen Tanner in the Rescue Sports Series doing really well in board, either winning or being in the top 3 in all the board races. Also been pulling out some great performances in the swim. He loves getting stuck into a beach relay. Also loves playing around in a ski. He's just a frother and will take on every event. And I mean, when Tanner isn't doing what he's doing, he works at Llandudno as a pro, and he spends a lot of his time just in that gnarly surf, catching barrels on his cracker. He's had an experience or two back in the day, I think, of folding a couple of club craft, but now this man's got his own cracker, and he knows the waves and the ocean so well. Again, this probably won't play into his favor at Santos, but also got a really, really good board start. I think it would be epic to see a race between him and Caitlin. I think we've got to put that out there as something that has to happen.
Race.
Yeah, who's got the fastest board start? But yeah, Tanner, awesome to see him turning around like a bit of an inconsistent season from before and into a lot more consistency this season. And nice to see him re-entering the team again since, I think, 2021. Again,
I think a good example of hard work. We're talking about Erin, we're talking about Tanner, like put in the hard work that's paid off. And I think what a lot of people don't realize, it's the makeup of the team and the events that these people do, and you know what you need for, and that's where Tanner's role he's really gonna shine. As I said, he covers a lot of things. So a lot of the team events, a lot of the relays, and the individual events.
Board, swim, sprints, Oak's got it all. He also, like last year SA Champs, the Durban experience that it was. We won't go into that, but I think he got like a second or a third in the long run. So like he can still like whip it out if the team needs it. He'll
don't go whipping it out, Tanner.
Don't not in that sense. But I mean, he lives and bleeds for his team. So when he's putting on this blue skull cap, I think he's going to be giving it his all. Really proud Oak, loves lifesaving. So it's going to be cool to see him racing in the blues in the surf again. Next up, Levi Mays. A really cool example of a junior nipper who's risen through the ranks, loads of consistently good performances, and just such a strong cornerstone of this team. Still quite young. I think Levi is only 20. But what a guy who's really been making a name for himself in the Western Cape lifesaving scene.
I agree, and to be honest, it's probably one of the first names you would write down on your team sheets if you anyone in our province, and we're freaking lucky to have him.
Yeah.
Rather with us than against us, a guy like Levi.
Yeah. No, and I mean Levi, been a regular in the Western Cape side. He's made he was in the SA team, and he's definitely in the squad and knocking on many doors there for reselection again.
Dodgy choices in sunglasses, but
and also he went through a peroxide hair phase.
Maybe that's the secret.
A little bit of a rock star of the sport brewing. But that's cool. I mean, it keeps
Bring
it
us
fun.
the personality. We want to see it.
I think Levi's going to be epic. A true waterman. I think that's even his Instagram handle, Waterman Levi. So he'll be, backing up a lot of good performances at Santos.
I think another person with a target on his back, and go show it.
Next up, Jay Samuels, another awesome beach athlete. I think, Jay, also
who can forget
guy.
Jay winning?
The
biggest SA flags that has ever existed.
I mean, let's set the scene. It was day 3. All the water events have been called off. The final event of the whole Surf Champs was going to be the men's flags. 83 Oaks line up. The whole flags arena was rammed with spectators, like around that whole square. And it just went through round after round after round. And it was so heated. I mean, there was like rivalries. Like every time a Fisher person was going out, the Clifton crowd were cheering. Every time a Clifton Oak was going out, the Fisher crowd were going berserk. It was next level. There were also some local guys from Durban, I think, who were also getting stuck in there. So the locals were getting really behind them. And I remember, Jay, having spoken to him after the experience, he he went all the way and got the win. He said he literally can't remember what was happening. It was like he just zoned in and was just going through the motions. And I think that's like that flow state that athletes often talk about. And I mean, what a time to find the flow and to get that gold medal on that day. I mean, as a beachy yourself, like what would that experience have been like?
It must have been one of the biggest flags in spectators and competitors I think we've ever had. And it kind of, that day, that event became the event just because of the way Champs played out. What a moment, and what a life-saving family. What a life-saving family, I think. Stalwarts of their local club.
The Samuels, epic.
The Samuels.
Alpha,
the absolute, I think they keep that, I don't know the ins and outs, but they keep that going.
They do duty.
They still
Jay's
do, as a family.
Are still doing duty. It's my favorite thing because I'm friends with his mom on Facebook. She's so epic. She gives the best hugs. And she will regularly be posting up like family duty day, and like the whole fam is getting down and doing duty at Alpha, patrolling. So awesome.
What wonderful people! Like as you said, best hugs, best conversations. Again, I've been doing it for so long that sometimes I think I see them more than I see my own family. But absolute lifesaving family. What a story! Again, that's quite a quiet guy, but when don't fool him. And I think a lot of people we were expecting Jay not to be as good in sprints, but he's clearly been working at it, and he's had some fantastic sprints results. Of course, he's backed it up with flags. Milnerton, not his day on flags, but I think again a lot of results were a bit skewed by the way that track played out. But I think we're looking forward to some big things. Big things from Jay.
No, I love what you said there about like a life-saving family, like seeing one of their own up there. Yeah.
And if you look at his Instagram, he's got quite a dress sense, quite a fly guy.
Yeah, no, he's like definitely quite fashion forward. And yeah, I think he's even got his own like clothing brand. There's often a lot of the Oaks wearing his little logo on a hat, and very cool guy.
My head's open, Jay.
Yeah, Jay will sponsor us. Last up in the open men's team, Zach Waters. I know Zach from Clifton. This oak has always got at least 10 questions ready to ask anyone, whether you are coaching him or like just competing with him. The oak is constantly working. His head never stops, but also an athlete who's consistently been working through youth and is now a senior. He's second year varsity at Stellies, linked up with a really cool swim squad there, and he got his first national selection 2 years ago for the rescue challenge that went to Texas. Didn't make selection for World Champs last year, but I know is very much hoping to still be backing up that previous selection and still be a member of the national team going forward. Consistent member of the Western Cape side, awesome teammate. What do you like about Zach?
I'll tell you what I don't like is his moustache.
Oh yeah, that moustache is hectic. I don't think he has it at the moment. I think that was just for Fisher.
Thank you, Zach. But again, I think he's clearly been working very hard. I think I'm not mistaken, he's won both swims.
Yeah.
And again, that exit out the water, I did a double take, and I said to my wife, "Who the hell is that?" And it was Zach. Yeah. So well done, Zach. Again, like you say, I almost want to use the term childlike, but what a guy! You get sucked into that energy around Zach. And another one, I think, who lives and breathes life-saving, and he's going to add a lot to the team. And I'm looking forward to some conversations with Zach at the dinner table.
Yeah. Okay, now we're going to go into youth women. I think you touched on it earlier. This team is next level. There are four national team members who competed for South Africa in like the last years. You've also then got an athlete who competed for the president's team, and then another athlete who is definitely going to be a rising star of SA. So Rebecca Fury actually commented on when this team was announced on Instagram the other day. She commented, "This is the exact thing. Like, this is basically a Springbok team."
It's an incredible team.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be the Eastern Cape team also have some great junior girls. This is going to be some exciting. But and just like every other junior girl in Lifesaving didn't make this team. You're competing with the best of the best. There, you're gotta hold your head up high
I think. Starting off, we've got Eve Abrams, big life-saving family. Again, another one of those members from the False Bay Coast. And Eve, I think ever since a young nipper, has been a standout performer definitely in all the beach events, and also has put together, she's won a board race here and there and a swim. Like she's done well. But we can definitely say she's a queen of the beach. Last year, she became the world champion in juniors in flags. and she got a second in sprints. And she also came home with another world champion medal with the beach relay team, taking home the, no, they didn't win. I think they got a bronze.
I think they got a bronze.
Yeah. So she got a lot of silverware from that. And Eve, yeah, I mean, has basically been winning every flags and sprints event like consistently.
For a few seasons.
I think barring 2 weeks ago with Ella Darrington just beating Eve on the line in sprints, Eve has never really experienced a loss in local competition. And I think it was such a cool moment, though, to have seen like Eve and Ella are great mates, and they've competed with and against one another for quite a few years. And when Ella beat Eve 2 weeks ago, Eve immediately just turned to her and gave her like the biggest hug. And I think it's such a cool mark of an athlete that like in that moment when they've just experienced a loss, and especially not a loss that they're very used to.
Yeah, how do you respond?
Yeah, they immediately turn to celebrate their friend who they're now very excited for, who took the victory. So yeah, what do you like in an athlete like Eve? What does she offer in the beach?
Again, probably one of the first names you picked out, even in such a stacked team. And like you said, Chris, she's been consistent for a few seasons now. She's been winning or coming close to the juniors and the senior women.
I think on the Rescue Sports Series, she's sitting on top of all beach leaderboards. Like, so she's sitting on top of the under 17 and the open leaderboards for flags and sprints.
Eve's going to be buying the Cokes after Province Champs.
Yeah.
But again, what an athlete. Going to be a superstar. Big shoes to fill. If you think about, like I was saying with Samuel, we've had some good athletes.
Yeah.
Mal, Mandi, I mean, incredible. And we keep producing them.
Yeah.
And I think Eve is going to dominate that beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then next up in the team sheet is her going to be her teammate in those beach events, Zoe Beresford. Eve and Zoe have competed against one another for quite a few years and have been in the Western Cape side together. And they work really well in a flags arena. They've definitely figured out quite a few good moves, and it's so poetic actually watching them work together. They've got their little signals, their little moves. And I mean, Zoe is one of a twin. I don't know how to say that phrase.
I'll just edit the right thing in.
Yeah. So Zoe and Kendra Beresford, they grew up, they're from the Strand side. A couple of years ago, they moved across to Clifton, wanting to get involved in the beach program there. And when you talk about consistency on the beach, this is another athlete who really has been up there. Zoe, I think it was last year, she started getting plagued a bit with like a bit of a toe injury. She often had strapping on. And I mean, between her parents, fellow athletes, coaches, even her, we were all downplaying it. And we were like, no, like it's fine, like you'll figure it out. And like she just ran through the pain every single time. And during the off season, she actually had to go for an operation because there was something wrong with a tendon or something. And she used that time to work really hard. And she started the next season with a bang and has been putting in some great performances on the beach. What do you like about Zoe?
Again, it's very consistent. I think people underestimate how hard it is to be consistent in sprints and flags. Like you go through form, much like anything, but specifically with sprinting and those explosive moves. Like if you're in a bad patch of, everyone hits a bad patch of form. Some of these guys and girls just don't seem to hit that. It's very consistent. It's also built up a lot of experience now at some good events. Yeah. And again, I think we're staring at a 1-2 year.
100%. Next up is Nicola Harkis, new to the Western Cape lifesaving scene, but no stranger to IPTs. Nicola is originally from the Eastern Cape. She just matriculated from Woodridge last year. Was in the national team for World Champs in 2024. Really good water athlete, also a really strong pool athlete. So one of those like crossovers that like every coach loves. Nicola, I think it's been exciting. Like each year, it's always exciting when some athletes move to Cape Town to start studying. She's joined Fishhook and is looking to kind of make a name for herself in the local Western Cape scene. I think a great addition to the junior girls team.
Oh, sure. And like quite a late import.
Yeah.
I think maybe surprised a few people. I think it'll be...
Yeah, like I think January, the transfer happened.
But again, we're lucky to have her. As a province, we're lucky to have her. So personally, I don't know too much details, but again, as someone you will struggle not to select with that sort of history and that background. And I think what'll be interesting is she's going to be racing her old province and how that's going to play out. They're going to be motivated. She's going to be motivated. We're going to enjoy the show.
Yeah, no, that's so true. I think she's actually also she might be racing against her sisters because they, I think, are in the Eastern Cape side, and her old coach is in the Open ladies team, Carmel. So a little rivalry within the rivalry. It's going to be awesome to see. Next up, we've got Holly Smith. Awesome athlete. Holly, not only a star in lifesaving, but also in surf ski paddling, canoeing. Her and Georgia Singer, one of the other athletes, they, world champions in canoe marathon. And Holly's also been a world champion in her own right in surf ski, I'm pretty sure. And if not, has been doing really well in the long distance surf ski races. Really good nuggety athlete, gets really stuck into board races, ski races, loves doing the drag in tube rescue. Very unrelated to the surf IPT, but Holly got a bronze medal at World Champs last year for line throw. Her patient was Eve. And it was so epic. Just seeing her practicing her line throw. She was so amped to go after it.
She gets it.
Yeah. So I mean, if they suddenly put line throw in at Mossel Bay, Holly's going to be the one that you put in. But originally from Llandudno, moved over to Fishhook a couple of seasons ago to kind of join in on the energy that all the Fishhook junior girls had. But a great athlete who's been around for a while. Yeah,
again, great athlete. Who would have thought we were going to say world champion so many times when going into the team? World champion, and again, big life-saving family. Lucky to have them as a movement, and absolute beast of an athlete.
Yeah. And then rounding out the youth girls team, we've got Ellen Stradom. Ellen's family are absolute frothers for lifesaving. I think if there's a family that is, I mean, we can't have a competition of whose family is the most dedicated, but if we did, Ellen's family are probably right up there.
In the running.
Because they drive Ellen down from, they live near Outeniqua, George area. They drive her down for competitions in Cape Town so that she can compete. Because there isn't a big competition scene up that side. This is Ellen's, I'd fashion a guess, her third Western Cape selection. She made the move recently to Fishhook, because previously she was competing for Plet. But I think it's been a nice move for her because now she can be on some strong teams. And I mean, the Fishhook girls are a really strong pack. Ellen's a really strong waterwoman. She's been racing also. She competes up into the open division and she gives us a good run for our money. Her ski is covered in Lumo stickers and I always see it out the corner of my eye. And I'm
we go.
Yeah, we go. Don't let the junior beat you. But what an awesome person. Comes from a great family. Her older brother was also really involved in lifesaving. Her dad trains with her. They go and do a lot of skiing on a really small body of water inland. They put the skis on there, and she does a lot of flat water Mally. So Mossel Bay actually could be playing into her cards. What do you like about Ellen?
I think she's got the closest to a home athlete we have for this competition.
Yeah.
Probably she's with Fishhook now, but I wouldn't say carrying the support and the district or the even district on her shoulders, but I think it's not. She's the home-based athlete. Hopefully she can pull some things out the bag. And again, 100% deserves to be there. like we keep saying it, but look at these names. Look at these. It's an honor to be in this team, and I think Ellen could also pull some surprise packages out there.
Yeah, I mean, the combinations that we're going to see in some of the team
events
are going to just be world class. And I think the girls are going to have such a joy racing with one another. And that's what we're going to love to see. Is like, I think they're just going to really enjoy putting some great performances on.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah. No, it's going to be good. Okay. Last team sheet. We've got our youth boys. First up on the list, Troy McWilliam. Comes from Clifton. A Lifesaving family. His mum and dad actually met at Clifton as juniors, I believe, and then went on to have a family, which was really cool. His uncle Simon Thirsk also competed for Clifton. Was also at the Olympics as a swimmer. So big swimming family, especially known very well in the Camps Bay circuit. Troy is also an open water swimmer, has competed for South Africa in the junior division. And he really made a big leap up this season because it was his first time up competing. And he was hot on the heels of Zach Waters in the open men's swim. And he's been putting some really consistent performances together. And one of those swimmers that even if it's going to be flat, you're stoked that he's in the team.
I think he's got literally and figuratively the big shoes of his brother to fill, who was in the team last year. What a swimmer. What a swimmer. And I wouldn't say surprise package, but he's kind of been a surprise package to us. For me personally, this year I did the Rescue Sports Series, again, giving Zach, who's in incredible form, giving him a run for his money. And we just seem to be reducing these swimmers.
Yeah. No, and Troy also, like, quieter athlete, but has a very iconic swim stroke as well. He kind of has this, like, loping pull. And I think, it definitely gives him a little bit of extra time to check out where the other competitors are. And, such a good athlete. And I think it's going to be epic to see him.
See him sticking out in the water.
Yeah. Next up, someone whose surname is very synonymous with Lifesaving in the Western Cape, with Lifesaving in South Africa. We've got Sam Mocker. He comes, his parents were both Springboks. His uncle is a Springbok. Sam is most likely well on his way to also becoming a Springbok. This is his first time being selected in the juniors. He was in the Nipper Western Cape team 2 years ago. And he's a pretty complete package when it comes to a Lifesaving athlete.
Again, we talk about Lifesaving families, but we're talking about one of the biggest ones. It's like a destiny situation. I remember being at Fishhook with my wife, I don't know what, just for a day out, not for a Lifesaving thing, for a change. And there was this tiny kid in a tiny little surf ski. I didn't even know they made surf skis that size. And I still said to Jay, jeepers, look at this little bugger. Like, he's surf skiing at this age. And it was Sam Mocker. And I thought, okay, this is a done deal at this moment, But again, he's literally grown up into quite a unit.
Yeah.
And he's young, got a lot of time to be in this team. He's producing a lot of good results. And I think he's going to be hot on the heels in every event he does. Yeah. He's going to be hot on the leaderboards in bond leading.
Yeah. And I think it's going to be exciting knowing that, the youth and open will be racing together.
Good luck to those open guys.
And seeing Sam up against the big dogs. He's also a water polo player. So
it's got the strength.
He's not going to give anyone an inch when you're going around the cans. So I think that's going to be really cool to watch. Next up, someone who's definitely quite close to your heart. From your club, Javin Presence.
I never heard of him.
Who's this
Who's
guy? Javin, this is his second or third selection for Western Cape. He was in the side last year when we had the combo year, made the front cover of the newspaper, the Daily Herald. Awesome performer, such a rad person. I'm on the athletes committee with him. Such a big advocate for the sport, for fairness, loves to talk about whether the flags starter calls are as they should be. But that's what you want to see, really engaged in ensuring that the sport is run well and that people get the opportunity to compete at the highest level.
Obviously, it has a special place in my heart and a big pain in my flipping head. But what a kid! Obviously, I could speak about him. I coach him. He actually came into Lifesaving quite late. But he
wasn't a nipper.
Was not a nipper. Probably around 16 that he's come into the sport with a track. He's got a bit of a track background. Started in 400s into 100s, and he's really strong. He's taken to flags and the technicalities of flags. It's someone you could talk to for hours about the turn and the angle of his hip and his knee and where it's going to go.
Yeah.
And it's again shone with the athletes committee. I think he's going to become quite a leader in this team. He was carrying a niggle. I think there was a lot of whispers that what's going to happen, his hamstring, and then he's really shown what he can do. Usually an exquisite running style.
Yeah.
Again, something you'd want to replicate. The last year has got something funny with it.
So we're going to have Caitlin and Tanner doing a board start off, and we're going to have Lara and Javin
competing for
the best running format. Best running style. I'm into these little sub races that we're going to create.
We'll put it out there, J7. Everyone calls him J7. You see him, you can ask him why.
Okay, nice. Next up, Riley Smith, younger brother of Holly Smith, who's in the youth girls team. Riley, he's been gritting it out since a nipper. Like such an iconic person. Every time you see him leave or enter the water, like he just hits this next level speed, grinding his teeth, giving it like absolutely everything. Someone who froths for Lifesaving, big Lifesaving family, like we said, the Smiths, representing Llandudno. Riley, such an awesome athlete. And he again was selected as a nipper. I think this is his first call-up into the junior leagues. He was in the president's team last year for South Africa, the Africa Champs. Definitely a rising star of Lifesaving. What do you like about Riley?
He's been knocking on this door for so long. And I think he's been unlucky in previous years. But again, just if you look at the level of athletes that we're selecting from, probably one of the ones who can really feel unlucky. But to his credit, last year, I'm sure you were there, Christina, PE. He went up with his family. He was in a high visibility vest, second in the equipment. For the team he wasn't even in. That's not a character statement. Then I don't know what it, but I think some fantastic results. Was it the Milnerton swim?
Yeah.
I think he won, caught a good wave and win. I don't know if he caught a wave, but what a result. And again, another person is just proving that hard work is paying off, and it's paying off for him.
Yeah.
As David says, the little staffy.
The little staffy. Next up, we've got Cody Stallard. This is a big name in the rescue sport series because Cody is not only sitting on top of multiple under 19 leaderboards, he's also sitting on top of some of the open men leaderboards, which I'm sure is really grinding the gears of some of our open men. Cody, out of Fishhook, really strong athlete. I remember last year at IPT, he was beating some of our guys in the open team. He's got a bit of a habit of it. Such a strong waterman, really strong paddler, whether you're talking ski or board, can put a really good iron together. What do you like about Cody?
Someone else is going to be buying a lot of Cokes at Strand. Strand, stock up on your Cokes.
Eve, Georgia, Cody,
stock up on your Cokes for the West Province Champs.
Or should we take him to Suncoast Casino?
Put it on green.
Yeah.
Bet on green. But I get absolute weapon, and I think coming up against any of these junior boys team like the ski teams, the board relays, I just don't see any gaps in any holes. And I think he's also going to have a fantastic Interprovincials. Another one last year, incredible results, and hopefully repeats.
Yeah. And then finally wrapping up the the youth boys team, youngest member of the team, Kaito Tui. Not often that you see an under 15 getting selected in a
on the male side.
team. But Kaito, always pretty dominant as a nipper. Definitely in the beach arena, his flags and sprints, he's kind of been untouchable for quite a long time, but also has a great board. I know he's spending a lot of time in the ski. He's working with Kira Vesta at the moment because he loves lifesaving and doesn't want to just be kind of boxed into one element. Kaito, I think, really made a big statement last year when he went to the World Champs in Oz to compete for Clifton. And he made the final for flags. And I mean, similar situation to like Jay at SA Champs, there was a flags field that was like huge. I think there were maybe over 100 athletes in the flag, so multiple rounds. And Kaito was one of three Clifton guys who made the flags final, and he managed to get a 4th place. So here you have someone he's never competed in a junior division, his first ever flags competition, and he comes fourth in the world in interclubs. I mean, if that's showing you the type of promise and guts and grit that this athlete has, I don't know what is. So I think that was probably quite an exciting statement for him to have made for selectors back home. He's had a great rescue sport series.
Yeah, he's had a fantastic rescue sport. And to make it at that age in these events, you competing with 19-year-olds in sprints and flags, it's incredible. And as you say, it's a massive statement to his talent, his potential. I mean, if this carries through, he's got the world at his feet. He's doing us beaches an injustice by being good in the water. We've got a reputation that he's kind of slating.
Expanding the brand of
We'll speak about this. we'll speak about this, but again, I think 100% deserving of his team, his place in the team at that age, and we're going to see some big things out of Kaito over the next few years.
Yeah.
The only person to win flags in his t-shirt all the time.
Yeah, we need to talk about a kit sponsor for Kaito. Actually, don't wear a t-shirt. Awesome. That's the end of our open and youth teams. Also, the nippers are going to be going up. We're not going to dive deep into the team sheets of the nippers, but I think just a few standouts that's exciting to see. Again, some of the surnames of some of our big lifesaving families. We've got this little Isabella Scarpa in there. We've got another mucker. They're coming in thick and fast. Sarah Mucker's there, and I think what's even more exciting to see in the Nipper team sheet is that you've got people coming from far more diverse clubs than you have in the open and youth. You've got a lot of Big Bay representatives, Llandudno, and also you've got your Clifton and your Fishhook. But I think it's nice to start thinking about a future where we're going to have quite a cool mixture of clubs making our teams. Big Bay have been on a huge
good program.
Storm. Yeah, and they've really got some strong athletes who are in the team. So Nippers, we love seeing that because it's almost like a little glimpse towards the future. And I think they also have some really exciting combinations, some really strong athletes. And it's going to be epic to see them running and racing alongside our crew. But as we wrap up, I think let's just quickly go over any types of predictions you have for IPT Surf 2025, because then we can return to these after the comp and kind of see how we fared.
I'm going to put the big one as Western Cape to win and to win every sprint relay.
Okay, nice. That's pretty solid. So winning every division.
Oh, every division.
Okay,
put my money where my mouth is.
Okay, Brent's getting into his gambling again. So we're gonna win.
Put it all on blue this time.
Win every division, open, youth, nipper, and win every beach relay. Okay. I'm gonna also say we're gonna win every Taplin relay. Because I think the Taplin, what's cool at IPT is they also do a mixed one.
It's a mixed one.
Yeah. So that's really fun. And
Very
as you know,
strategic.
we love a mixed event. Yeah. And with these team sheets that we've got going, yeah, I think you definitely are going to be seeing some strong Taplin teams. And yeah, I also reckon just based on these combinations, these pairings of beachies that we have, 1 and 2 in flags.
I think that's a good call.
I
That's a
think
good
like
call.
you're going to be seeing 2 blues going for that final flag at the end, and it's going to be super tight.
That's a good call.
Yeah.
I'll back this one.
Okay, nice. And yeah, also looking forward to the extra races that we've now put on the program, the Caitlin Brokart versus Tana board starts.
Yeah. The real races.
The real
What the
races.
people want to see.
And the Javin and Lara run off to see who has the best style. Those I think are going to be
That's what's
iconic.
going to sell tickets.
Yeah. So yeah, IPT 2025 Surf. We can't wait to see this unfold. That's a wrap on the first episode of The Rip. I can't believe it.
We made it through.
Yeah, I think to everyone that's listened this far, thank you.
Thanks.
Please share. We are having a lot of fun putting this all together. We're going to be sharing this out on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts. Full video will be up on YouTube. We're going to be trying to make some cool reels and snippets for Instagram and be pumping it on social media. Please like, subscribe, share, do all the things that content creators.
I'll show you how to do it later, Mom.
Yeah. And yeah, I think that's a wrap on episode 1. Episode 2 and 3, which will be coming out soon. We're going to dive a bit deeper into who are these people that are actually doing this podcast, who is Brent and who is Christina, just to go a bit more about our life-saving stories.
Don't worry, it'll be shorter than this one.
Epic. Cool. Thanks for listening. Cheerio.
Thanks, guys.